You are listening to That Big CEO Energy, where we talk all things business, life, marriage to create an impactful community, teaching you how to lead your life and your business with compassionate strength. It can be scary stepping out from the barriers we still carry while we were once employees and change the narrative to take charge of your business and team. This podcast is a place for you to come to learn to do just that. From personal experiences, interviewing new friends, I hope that you will tune in to listen all that living that big CEO energy can offer you and your business. I'm your host, Kallai, entrepreneur and fractional COO. Let's jump in. Welcome back. You are listening to episode 32. And today we are catching up on all things business goals. We are checking in because, y'all, we are halfway through the year 2022. And as crazy as that sounds, yeah, it just sounds crazy, right? Like, say that out loud. We are halfway through 2022. Doesn't it feel like we just got done with 2020? I feel like when we have that whole basically year that was, I don't want to say missed, because I'm sure we all learned a lot during that time. But just to have sort of that year where we were forced to slow down, we were forced to sort of reconnect with different things and different aspects of our life. 2021 was coming slowly out of that. And then 2022, as much of a financial burden it seems that we all have now, we sort of have gotten back into a rhythm of finding our new normal, whatever that looks like, right? And for some of us, it's a little bit different than others. But today, I just wanted to do a check-in with you, see where you are halfway through the year. I'm sure if you have been following me, you know, in the beginning of the year, we set some goals and we talked about that. We talked about how to do personal goals. We talked about how to do business goals. And I will link those episodes in the show notes so that if you are just finding this for the first time, you can go back and listen. But we set some pretty big goals, and I set big goals that are also realistic because I think that is important. You know, I try and set goals for the year that I'm working in and not so much 5 years or 10 years ahead of time, because let's be honest, we have no idea if we're going to be here. I mean, that's just the reality. So breaking it down into smaller, manageable chunks and focusing on just the year that I'm in and the days that I am living has been super beneficial to my mind, to my brain. And I hope that it encourages you to not have to think so broadly. You know, when I would interview, when I was in corporate, it was always the question of, oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And my honest answer is, I live for the year that I'm in because I don't know what 5 years is going to bring. And my hope for the 5 years is that I'm going to be, you know, X place or wherever. But I like to focus on the here and now, and I like to build myself in such a way that I am set up to be sustainable in 5 years. And with creating such an honest answer like that, it almost made the prospective employer think to themselves like, wow, yeah, she's not an idiot. Because it's so true. When we talk about 5-year goals, 10-year goals, like, we can have an idea, right? We can have a sort of prescription that we're giving ourselves for those 5-10-year goals. But if we're not focusing on each year that presents itself, and by year, I don't mean like January 1 to December 2021. The year can be starting whenever you feel like it. Maybe it's June to June. Maybe it's April to April, because that's when sort of your rebirthing period is, which is fine. But if you're working year to year and you have sustainable goals that are eventually, you know that they're going to set you up for year 5 and year 10, But here and now is the focus for you to be able to drive yourself. That really is a better way to work on goals independently. And so that's really the shift that I made in 2022 when looking at my goals. Some of my business goals was to increase revenue by 10% by the end of this year and hire a VA and reduce my business spending and make $500 in passive income. And then the final one was just increase overall brand awareness. And I can tell you that the increase in revenue has not happened yet because I am slowing down to rev back up. And I have reduced my business spending by 5% through walking through some of the tools and things that I just don't use or I don't use at the full capacity that I thought I would, lowering the subscription on some and just canceling some others. And I have checked off the VA situation and I'm working on developing the passive income. And while it was a later bit of a start for the passive income, I know that I will at least be able to generate that $500. And I'm putting it out into the world like that because I'm just confident in myself and what I serve. And that is an encouragement to you as well, that if you are not feeling confident in the things that you are putting out in the world, that is some mindset that we need to work through. And I'm happy to, if you want to send me a message on Instagram, I'm happy to work through that. But just putting it out into the world and claiming that that is what you're going to do is super beneficial. And then increase overall brand awareness. So I'm working behind the scenes on some of my branding with some colleagues, and it has been amazing. And so I'm slowly chipping away and doing the daily things that I need to do to make my business goals happen. And, those business goals aren't for everyone, and those business goals are personal to me. And so that is part of working through your goals as well, right? Really identifying what you want to reach and what you want to achieve, not what everyone else is doing. That's super important because we are unique, all of us in our own right. While the information that we share sometimes is parallel to someone else, if we encourage ourselves to look at how we show up in that information, it will always be different. And so with my business goals, like these are personal things to me that I need for my business to move forward. So just keep that in mind while you're working through them. And then some personal goals that I had was number one, my health. I have turned a corner and I'm so excited about that. And I've done multiple things. And I'm working, with a coach and my homeopathic doctor in order to keep the health train moving. So I would say check on that, but that's an evergreen goal, right? It's something that is going to continue on. It's just has to be a reminder for the top of my goals in order to keep me motivated to continue to look to my health always. And some other goals that I had were paying off credit cards, which I have paid off 2 of them. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm chipping away at the others. And then my student loans. And I'm just sort of sitting duck at the moment, as I'm sure a lot of people with student loans are doing, to kind of see what's happening and read 2 books a month. I'm going to mark this as a fail. It's very hard for me to get into a mode of reading every day. And I'm not sure if this is just like some underlaced trauma from being in, college for multiple years. But I'm trying to find the rhythm of reading for joy instead of reading for information. And so I haven't found a genre that really speaks to me at the moment. But I'm slowly chugging away. What I will say is I've read at least once a month, and we still have half the year to go. So maybe if I find my rhythm, we can end up at 24 books for the year, but we will see. And then some other things was travel and experience something new at least one time a quarter. And I know for sure that I have done that. My husband and I have made a decision together to make sure that we are experiencing something new and, looking forward to the next thing, to spend time with each other. And I've done a few solo things to experience things new. And I'm just really excited about utilizing my time for exploring and for travel and experiencing new things, because that really keeps my brain turned on for exploratory things, and it helps me be a better business owner and a better mom and a better wife. And so I'm really encouraged that we have made it a point, even if it's small things around our town, to just go and do something new, to just explore with each other and have that time together, because it's really important that our marriage comes first. And so I'm thankful to him for always being up for random things and spending time together. So, and then the fifth thing was make a church commitment to serve in my church. And this summer, I have taken on the summer Bible study, which is once a week at my church. And then in the fall, I've committed to teaching a Bible study as well on Thursday nights. So I'm super thankful that the good Lord has pulled me towards teaching and serving in this capacity. And so I'm really excited for that. So all in all, the goals are moving along. I think what is important is that you can see the progress. And it's not so much that by the end of your year that you look back and say, okay, can I check this off? Accomplished, done. But it's more so about the fact of, are you making progress? Are you being encouraged by your goals? Are you working towards them every day, every week, every month? And I think what's important is knowing when to adjust those goals, because if you have gotten to this point, and maybe you started on January 1, as most of us do, but if you've gotten to this point, you're like, I haven't even made a dent. Maybe it's time to revisit those. Maybe it's time to really peel back the layers and say, is this sustainable for me? Is this helpful to me? Is this something that I want to continue on this year? And let me just shout it from the rooftops. It is okay to abandon a goal that you have written down because you want to do something different. It is okay to abandon that goal and make something new because that goal just doesn't fit you anymore. So if you're struggling with that, if you need encouragement to walk back through your goals and say, I don't know what the heck I was thinking when I made this goal, but this needs to be this now, do it. Make that change, because it's not about time. It's about progress. It's about progressing yourself. It's about understanding who you are, where you are, and what you need. And you can't do that without looking at your goals and seeing what fits and what doesn't. I'm a totally different person by a fraction that I was 6 months ago. And so if I were to look at any one of these and say, this no longer resonates with me because either A, it doesn't fit who I am, or B, I don't want to do that anymore, or C, it just isn't going to meet up with my long-term objective, then that's a cue for me to get rid of it. That's a cue for me to find something that is going to give me progress, that is going to show up in such a way that makes me happy. So know when to adjust your goals. And is it too late to set goals now? I think that that is something that needs to be talked about as well. When we reach January 1, a lot of us, that's the marker for us to begin the next set of goals. And for some of us, we need a good quarter, maybe even half the year to really sort of come down from, the Christmas thing. Winter is hard on a lot of people if you live in a state with 4 seasons. And it is really hard sometimes to get into the swing of things if that is just a rough time. And so it is okay to set goals now. It is okay to make summer goals and then, do it by season. There is no right or wrong way. And I think that's the point we're all trying to make here is when you do goals, it is not about time. It is about the goal itself and being able to chip away at it and ultimately reach the goal. It doesn't have to be a yearly goal. It doesn't have to be a monthly goal. It could be a goal that this week I'm going to read for 20 minutes every day, and that goal is accomplished. I think condensing them into smaller, tangible goals is easier than looking at the year ahead and saying, what do I need to have accomplished in a year? So if you are the kind of person that has been reluctant to make goals this year because you're like, I just don't know where to start with from the inside out. What do you need? Do you need breath work every morning? Do you need to get on a journal pattern? Do you need to read more? Do you need to spend more time in the Word? Really understand what your body is asking you for and make goals centered around that. And even in your business, is your business trending towards needing more clients? Okay, make a plan for that. Is your business needing some more support? Okay, maybe we're planning on creating interviews for that. Whatever that looks like, those are all little goals that you can incorporate too, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed on, the goals that I shared and now you're thinking, great, Kallai's got it all figured out. I guess I need to get my butt in gear too. No. I think the point here is that it's never too late to set a goal, but it has to be a goal that's suited for you and nobody else. And so my plan for the rest of the year is to just keep these goals in focus. One of the things that I really enjoy is I have a sticky dry erase board, if you will, and I have them written down so that every day I come into my office, I'm able to see it. So that is my plan for the rest of the year, is to just keep them in mind and daily, consciously and unconsciously work towards them so that I feel good when I meet them. And if it's beyond a year, then it's beyond a year. If it's not, then it's not. I think we are well past the time where we are so hard on ourselves that we crumble if we're not doing something that we think we ought to be. And if you feel like that, it's 9 times out of 10 because you're consuming somebody else's content and you're consuming too much of it. You're consuming someone else's ideas and you're not spending time with yourself in order to figure out what you want to do. And so today, I just encourage you that if you are here checking in on your goals, I just want to send you love, a big old hug, and you are working towards them, and yay for you. If you are here trying to find motivation because you haven't set goals yet, I'm sending love to you. And I'm sending big hugs to you and encouragement that you can make small steps towards your next set of goals. And if you're here because your goals have fallen apart and you're just looking to restart, I'm just going to share that now is the time. Sit down and make today, whatever day you're listening to this, make today day one of setting some intentions and setting some goals for yourself. Listen, friends, we don't have to make this complicated. We don't have to repeat someone else's goals because we think that those should be ours as well. We are here to pave our own path. And I hope that your goals and your intentions of your every day, of your every month, of your every year are reflected of that, because you are worth it and you are stronger than you think. Thanks for listening to That Big CEO Energy. If you heard something today that helped you, I would love it if you would leave a review and share it with your friends. This helps more people like you become inspired just like you are. If you would like to learn more about how I can help you streamline and position your business for growth or lead your business as a CEO, feel free to jump into the show notes with all of the links to find me. And don't forget to head over to Instagram so we can be pals.